welcome to another tutorial from MoICT. In this tutorial, we're going to be looking at how to touch hold a object so the object will grow and shrink on screen. So let's just take a look at how this project works. So I'm just going to press play here. Okay, so I have got 3 cubes on the screen. So if I touch and hold the first one, it grows to a certain point and then it shrinks down. So as soon as it goes down to a certain point, it will start shrinking up again. So if I stop at any one point, it's going to stay in that current scale. I can do the same for the second one, and then I can also do the same for the third one. Okay, so we're going to be working with Unity native touch controls for Android, and we're not going to be using any extra assets for this project. So hopefully you guys will enjoy this one, and let's get started by making a new project in Unity. So first, let's click on New. This is going to be a 3D project, so we'll say here touch hold to grow and shrink object MoICT, and then once we named it, let's click on create. Okay, so our new Unity project is now loaded. Let's go and change the build settings to Android. So if I go to file, build settings, click on Android, click switch platform. Once that switches, we can close this one. And we also, in order for this one to run on the phone, I have got Unity Remote 5 installed already on the phone and it's connected. So I just need to go to project settings, under the editor, Unity Remote. From the devices, we'll select any Android device, so that way it can send the signal from the Android studios to the phone. So once that is done, I can close this one down. Go to the game, go to the aspect ratio. I'm going to pick portrait. Main camera, if I click that from the hierarchy here and go to clear flags, from the skybox choose solid color. Let me just give it another color so we can have it a bit distinctive. I'm just going to press play here just to see if it shows up on the Android device. Okay, yeah, that's fine. Okay, so now we're going to add a cube. So right click on the hierarchy here, select cube, and then once the cube is added, we need to also reset the position of the cube. So we can go to reset. So inside the inspector, while the cube is selected, go to transform, reset. Okay, I'd like to have the game view here so I can see where the cube is. So I'm going to move the cube up here. Okay, I'm just going to save it very quickly. We need to tag the cube as well, so we're going to go here and say add tag. Say call this one cube. Okay, come back to the cube again, and then add the tag to the cube. I'm just going to duplicate that once, move it down, and then duplicate it again, move the other one down as well. Okay, for the middle one, I might just rotate it slightly so it looks a little bit different. So if you just move your mouse to the Y position here, you can sort of rotate it to, like, let's say 40 degrees or something like that. And then that way it's a bit different than the first two. Okay, the scale is fine because we're going to be rotating the scale from the script. So if I click on the main camera now, I can go to add component and say hold and scale objects. Okay, so that's going to be a new script, and it gets attached to the camera and it gets added here as well. So I can just double click on that to open it in Visual Studio. Okay, so we have that script open right now, and we're going to start off by making 2 variables. So one is going to be for the scale change, another one is going to be the selected game object. Okay, so let's go and create a new vector3 here. Vector3, call this one scale change equals new vector3. Okay, and then we're going to give it a default value of minus 0.01 f for x, y, and z value. Okay, so he accepts 3 float. So as you can see here, he accepts 3 float for x, y, and z, and these are going to be the default value for the objects. Okay, we're also going to call it a private game object, right? And we're going to call this one selected object. Okay, so whichever one that we tap first is going to be selected here, and then we can make changes to that from here. Okay, so now let's go to the update function here, and all the remaining stuff will be taking place here. So first, we're going to need to check if the touch input has started. So we're going to say if input.touch count is greater than 0, and we're going to say and input.touches dot phase is equals to touch phase dot stationary. Okay, so what we're checking is if the touch has started and the user is holding the screen on that same position. All right, so this is why we're doing stationary. Okay, if both of these conditions are true, then we're going to create a new array called array equals camera main dot screen to array. Okay, and let's get the position of that touch. So we're going to say input dot touches 0 and then position. Okay, and right after that we're going to send a raycast called hit. Okay, and now we're going to say if physics raycast, and then inside the bracket we're going to send out the ray, and then we'll also get the hit. Okay, and inside of this one here we can check if the object that we hit has got a tag of cube. So if hit.transform.tag is equals let's say cube. Okay, if that is true, then selected game object is going to be equals to hit.collider.game object. So we're going to link the selected game object that we created here as a private variable. We're going to hit that, save that game object that we hit into this one, so that way we can make changes to that. Okay, and then we're going to say selected game object dot transform dot local scale, right, is going to be plus equals to scale change. So because the scale change here is set to this value here right now, so we can sort of grow it at a smaller rate so we can see the change happen gradually. Okay, and then we're going to also need to limit the scale. So we're going to say if hit.transform.local scale.y. So we're going to go for the y value, say 1f. So if it's gone below 1f, or so we're going to use the two pipe symbols. Hit.transform.local scale.y is greater than 3f. So we're going to say scale change equals minus scale change. Okay, so we're just going to reverse the value. Okay, so now if we save this script, so now we're back into the Unity editor. So now we can just maximize on, click on maximize and play here, so it goes a bigger screen when it plays, and then we're just going to play the project. Okay, so now the project is playing. So if I press and hold on the first one, as you can see, it gets larger and then it starts to shrink as soon as it hits the 3. Okay, and as soon as it hits 1, it starts to grow again. I'm going to stop that one here and then press and hold this one. It does the same again. Press and hold this one. It does the same again. So the reason we're using the tags is so it makes easier if you don't want a certain one to change. So if I just untag this one, let's say for example, and then if I play again, I can grow this one, but the middle one I'm tapping at the moment on the phone, but it doesn't work. So, and then I can grow the second one as well. Okay, you can also do the thing where you change the color of this one as it grows and shrinks. Hopefully you enjoyed this project, and I hope the project that we did would be useful for you, and I will see you on the next one.